Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. If I just saw you, welcome back. If I'm just seeing you for the first time, then welcome, welcome. So, today we are talking about business owners, why you might be struggling with making meaningful business connections. Let's fix it. So, what I want to do first is just share this video to multiple lives. If you know someone that you think this video might be beneficial to, please share it with them. You can send it through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, however. And if you want to be a part of the conversation and just come and share your experience, talk about, some of the things that you've experienced in this area, you are more than welcome to do that in the chat. So, my name is Katan Paul. I'm the founder of BossBayBlog.com. I'm a small business promotion specialist, a small business loyalist, and a brand elevation specialist. So all those different things have different titles. But the first one, small business promotion specialist, I'm here to advertise, promote, and let everybody know about these wonderful small businesses. The small business loyalist, I'm loyal to promoting loudly small businesses. I love to promote small businesses. That's like one of my favorite things to do. And then the brand elevation specialist is me helping with elevating your brand presentation, how you're able to increase or elevate the audience's perception of your brand through structures, through elevating your credibility, like having a more professional and clean website, or having a nice, simple, clean, effective business card, or business consulting to help you with growing in sales and how you can better take care of your clients, or how you can get quicker results, but still have great quality. And then also creating better systems so that you can have an organized system where everybody can be taken care of, and you can be able to capture leads, people who are interested in shopping with you, and turn them into customers, long-time customers. So that's what I do, that's what I focus on, that's what I'm passionate about. But today we're talking about why you might be struggling with making meaningful business connections. Let's fix it. So this topic, I've had a few times where people mention their experience when it comes to networking or connecting with other professionals. And I've had a few times where I've just sat back and experienced something myself. So I'm here to give a list of reasons why you might be struggling. Now, if you're not struggling with making connections, then this video isn't for you. This is for the people that are struggling. They don't find that they're making meaningful connections that actually make them feel excited about being connected to the person, or feel like it's actually mutually a great relationship, or feel like they're getting the best out of the relationship that they really could be. So they're just meeting a lot of people that they're not really sticking with. They're not really enjoying the experience of networking and connecting and collaborating with other business professionals. So let's talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share this I forgot I was supposed to share this live on Facebook for all of the Facebook watchers. Instagram watchers, my Instagram fam, unfortunately, I will not be able to stream on Instagram today. However, you can catch us on YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be back to Instagram as soon as possible. And thank you for your support. Okay, so let me just drop this in the multiple chats, and then we're going to get straight into this conversation. Hello, hello. Hi. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. What are you listening to? BossBayBlog.com. You're listening to why business owners might be struggling with making meaningful connections. And we're going to talk about how we're going to fix that. So if that's a conversation for you, you're welcome to stay. And if not, I still appreciate you for stopping by. Okay. We got one more group to share this to, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and start it up. In the meantime, if you are a shopper, small business owner, or both, you are more than welcome to share in the chat. Let us know what kind of small businesses you love to shop with, or just maybe your small business if you're owning one. Okay, we're almost ready to start, guys. We're going to do this in less than 60 seconds. And I will also go ahead and make sure that this is posted on all of my. We're on Twitch too, if you guys need to stream or watch us on Twitch. Okay, we have shared it. Everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started with this conversation. So Like I said, I've heard a lot of different experiences. I've seen some experiences. I've had them myself. And I'm here to answer the question why you might be struggling with making meaningful business connections, collaborations, partnerships, and just interactions overall. I want to talk about it. I want to give some of the common reasons that I'm seeing. And then I want to give you some solutions on how to fix it. Not just talk about the problem, but talk about some ways that we can fix it or work towards elevating it. Now, if you hear anything that works for you, awesome. If not, that's okay too, but I'm here to hopefully make an impact on someone that is genuinely struggling and wants a different result. So we'll start. The first thing is listening. So why you might be struggling with making meaningful connections, business connections, is because you're failing to listen to other professionals. I've gone into many rooms where I've networked with people and they don't ask questions for understanding on what I am seeking or looking for. They just go straight into giving me something without even knowing me or even learning anything about me. So it's one thing if like you know the business owner, you've been, watching them for a long period of time, you have research on them, that's different. Or, you're a consultant and you've done an analyzation of their brand. But to walk up to somebody and to literally just have met them and just started talking to them, haven't looked them up on social media, haven't found their business, and then just give them like a specific thing that they need to work on, it's kind of like a doctor coming to you and giving you medicine to help you with a broken arm, but you don't have a broken arm. You never had a broken arm. They just gave you the medicine randomly and was like, here, take this. So sometimes business owners are not great at listening. I experienced one time where I went somewhere and this person was really just trying to sell me on why I needed to buy this service. And the first time that they said it, I said, okay, thank you for the information. I'll definitely look into it. Then they continued to pressure that I should get it. And I said, okay, thanks. It sounds nice. I'll definitely check it out. Then they continued to say, you need to sign up for this. You need to buy this. After about the third time, in my mind, my mental had registered that they aren't hearing me, and I'm finished with the conversation. I've headed on out of there. But just to be professional, I continued to talk for a little while. Then I said, "Thank you so much for giving me the information. I'll take the time to look at it, and if it makes sense for me, I'll definitely be back to talk to you about it." And I left it there. But three times of a person telling you, "I'll take the time to look at it," I haven't. I like to take my time, and you're still telling them they need to go and make that purchase. Sometimes those interactions will cause a person to retract and they don't become as open. So it's important that you're not someone that's going in so aggressively trying to tell someone how they should do something or what they need to be doing. Go in from a place of genuinely wanting to listen, not listening to respond, not listening to react, not listening to dispute or argue, but actually asking a question because you genuinely want to hear what they have to say, and listening and responding like you wanted to hear what they had to say. Sometimes you can hear when someone was listening to react, to respond, to argue, dispute, or to sell. You can hear it in how they respond to you. So stop always having a mindset on how you're going to respond to the next thing that they say and just focus on listening to what they have to say and then organically take it in. It makes a huge difference in the conversation, the tone, where you go with it, whether it's a conversation about feedback and critiquing or it's a conversation about just business and life. But in my experience, that has genuinely helped me. Like when I ask a question and I just listen and I just let them go. You learn things about people that you probably would have never learned. I've had some of the shyest people share so much with me to the point where I know so much about them. And a lot of people wouldn't expect that they would be someone to be that open. But when you allow people to be open and you're not talking with a ulterior motive, but more so with an intention to listen, you'll see a much better result in the relationships that you develop and the conversations that you have. But people are not slow by any means. People are smart. And as much as we may think that they don't understand, they understand where you're coming from and where you're getting at. So when you start a conversation and you ask a question with a peer and you already have your response on what you're going to say before they've even answered the question, you had an intention behind that. You already knew what you wanted to say. And so for that reason, it's important to ensure that you're not listening to respond. You're not listening to just say stuff from emotion. You're listening to be receptive and be proactive. Because by doing that, you might actually be able to come up with a solution. And life is about being solution oriented. Life is about proactivity. Life is about being positive. And if you're going to be somewhere in a space, why would you be there if it's not somewhere you want it to be? it's more of a reflection, I would say, on you than on the space that you're in. If you're there, why would you be there if you don't want to be there? So focusing on going spaces where it's encouraging you, where it's making you feel good, but also focusing on listening and just taking things in organically, and not always coming to sell or to get something specific across. Sometimes just let the conversation flow, because you just never know where it could go and what you might learn from a person by doing that. So that would be the first thing that I would say. Now, another reason why people fail to have great relationships. Let's see, I'm gonna mark this off as I go because I got quite a lot. Um, the next one is similar to what I said before about sales, and that is simply that you're just not a pleasant person. When you're not pleasant, it's hard for people to really like connect with you or even let their guard down. So there's a lot of people out here who are very hostile, very passive aggressive, very rude, very disrespectful, and they're expecting to get some sort of relationships or return on investment while still operating like this. So if you're not a pleasant person, or you don't know how to speak to people, and you don't know how to communicate with people, you're not going to see that same thrill and that same meaningful connection that you could have seen had you known how to speak to people. I do believe that socializing with people is an art, and it's almost feeling, I'm gonna say feeling, I'm not gonna state, I'm just gonna say I feel like it's becoming a lost art, because social media has created a platform for us to just project all of our thoughts and feelings, which it can be a good thing, but in the same breath, it does not challenge us to be direct and communicate with someone directly. It also does not challenge us to sit and just listen and take things in and be receptive. It kind of almost programs us to be reactive in a sense. That's my experience with social media, and I personally feel like that plays and ties a lot into us being able to socialize as humans. So when you get in a room with people, learning how to just say hello, ask someone how they're doing, be pleasant, have conversation with them, really ask them questions that you want to learn more about them, not necessarily asking to react to something or being sarcastic or asking rhetorical questions. Actually ask the question, then actually listen. This can really change your connections and your relationships. It's done a number for me. So that's just one tip. The pleasant thing, that's another tip. Take it or don't take it. I mean, everybody has their own personalities. Another reason why you might be struggling with making meaningful connections is because you could be someone that lacks accountability. If you are someone that lacks accountability or does not take ownership of their decisions and their actions, it can be very hard to develop relationships with people, because people will feel like if you're not being real with yourself and about yourself, then how could you possibly be real with me? So if you're an entrepreneur and you're out here trying to grow and get into spaces with people who challenge themselves to be better, who work on themselves, who develop themselves, who really pay attention to how they're speaking to people and coming across to people, you're going to find like-minded individuals. And if you're not someone that does that, you might start to stumble across people that reflect what you do or reflect something that you don't want to be a part of. And that could be a reason why you're struggling with gaining meaningful connections. Get around people who want to take ownership for what it is that they're doing. They want to grow, they want to elevate. But if you're that person that always has a reason, an excuse, a complaint, or something, it's going to be hard for people to really see past that to connect with you on a deeper level. Taking accountability. That's a huge integrity thing, number one. But number two, it also shows personality sometimes. So I find that when I see entrepreneurs who are driven, hardworking, trying to get to the next level, solution oriented, take ownership of their own actions and don't try to force or put their actions and decisions on the next person. A lot of people are attracted to that entrepreneur. And I'm one of those entrepreneurs. And so people love that. They love to be a part of that energy. Um, so that's one thing I would say that could help you with having more meaningful business connections. Now, another thing would be, I kind of talked about this earlier, but in a sense, I'm going to bring it back. How you talk to people. How you talk to people can determine the meaningfulness of your connections. It's very important to pay attention to how you speak to people when you are upset, how you speak to people when you don't get what you want, how you speak to people when things go unexpectedly. These are important, whether you're speaking directly to them alone, privately, or you're speaking to them in a crowd of people. It doesn't matter, because your integrity and how you operate, that's who you are. It doesn't mean it can't change, but it is who you are. So if you are intentionally rude, mean, a bully like, passive aggressive, hostile, That's who you are in private or in public. And when people see that, it tends to push them back and make them say that I really don't want to be a part of this. And they will never approach you. Or maybe they did approach you and experience that and decided that that business connection was just going to be that. And I can even attest to that. I've met professionals, I've talked to professionals that I really enjoyed talking to and really was excited about working with long term, like 5 to 10 to 20 years, and how we're going to do certain things. But then I see the way that they speak to people when they're upset or when they're not getting what they want, and it's just very distasteful. I also seen the way that they speak to people when there's a disagreement and when people do not align with what they think they should do, and it's very distasteful. So seeing that made me push back or pull back and say, I don't know if this is going to be a long term relationship unless there's change. Because how you speak to people when you don't get what you want, or how you speak to people when you think there's not a crowd, or even how you speak to people when you see that there is a crowd, says a lot about you. And that's one way that you can have great business connections. So if you're paying attention to that and you're one of those people that's trying to pour positivity into people, genuine, authentic, and positivity, not fake, not forced, and not pretending to be that when in reality it's cloaked with something else like ego or disruptiveness or disrespect or intentional rudeness. Yeah, real positivity and trying to uplift people, people can feel that. So if you're struggling with those connections, but you keep doing that, you will get to those meaningful business connections. Even when it feels like you're alone and you can't find them, you will find them. And if you're not there yet, but you're trying to become that person, once you start practicing the actions that will help you get there, you're going to get those connections that you're looking for. So just something, just a message of, endearment. Okay. The next thing is you make it all about you. If you're struggling, you might be struggling with making meaningful business connections because you make it all about you. Um, like I said, I've gone into events where people have just started going into a list of all the things that they do and why they should do that, but not once that they actually ask or assess what it was that I was actually looking for or needed. So don't make it all about you. And also with collaboration, sometimes people will want to do a collaboration, but it's not mutually beneficial. And if it's not mutually beneficial, a person may not be interested in doing that, or may not have the time to entertain it or do it. And to sit and be making it about you, like this is a me thing, and not understanding that when you are working with another person, it is a two-way street. It is a take and give. It can really come across self-centered, but also it can make people feel as if you're not really focused on anything but yourself and how you feel, and everything else is irrelevant. Um, so it's supposed to be two people working, meeting in the middle, working together, supporting each other, beneficially helping each other. And so I think that when we come across where we don't make it all about us and we just make it about how we can help each other, that sparks a conversation for more meaningful business connections. Or even just how I can be of service to you, or even offering what you already have. Sometimes you can't do everything, you just can't. But what you do have, you can offer it. And if people accept it, they accept it. And if they don't, that's their choice. Okay. See, how many more do we have? Because I have another video I got to do today. We got, okay, that one. Okay, got it. Okay, so I have two more. Another reason why you might be struggling with making meaningful business connections is because your personality, how you act, how you treat people, how you interact doesn't align with your values that you're promoting on your business or your values that you stated you had. I have met so many people in industries where when you meet them in person or you're talking to them, you're not really that person that you're promoting or that you're saying is important for you. I met people in industries that are about healing and wellness, and I didn't feel any level of healing or wellness in their presence. I've met people who are about uplifting and positivity, or at least that's what they said they're about. But then when they got the opportunities to kick somebody while they were down, that's what they did. So seeing that in real time is something that would make me say, I don't know if this is a connection I want to explore. And that happens in many cases. So I'm not saying that we need to be perfect, but I am challenging people who are struggling with developing connections to make every action, every word, every moment, every room, every event, everything that you create about aligning with what you feel like is important in life and in your business values. And when you do that, when you start to practice that, you become better and better at being that light for people and understanding how the impact of your words really can affect someone's day. The impact of your energy really can affect someone for the better or the positive. You understand that you have a choice to show up and be the reason why someone smiles, or you have a choice to show up and be the reason why someone cries, or you have a choice to show up and be the reason why someone is stressed out. You have those choices and you are impactful. So, understanding that and acting on that and really making sure that your actions align with the values that you state that you're about is a very huge thing. So, that's something that might be, it could be stopping you from gaining those great business connections or meaningful business connections, because somebody might start connecting with you and then decide that your connection is going to be surface level. So the next thing that we have is, this is the most important one, so I had this last. Oh, no. They're both important. This one is listening better, respecting boundaries. When people tell you things, listen, and then respecting people's boundaries, respecting people's opinions, respecting people's free will. We're just in this realm of trying to force people to live and think the way that we think. That's just not how life works. And when you do that, you waste time that you could have been spending on growing your own brand, but you also turn off really great relationships from people that probably would have supported you, wanted to be around you a lot, but that forcefulness of trying to push someone to think like you, be like you, and trying to push past the boundaries that they have clearly set is a reason why a person would stop wanting to connect with you, and you would lose out on a really meaningful business relationship. So if we could learn to listen better and learn to not try to force our opinion onto the next person more, you could develop relationships where you allow people to be who they are, show up in your life the way that it makes sense for you and for them. And you guys have mutual growth, mutual benefit, most importantly, a deeper understanding for one another. But oftentimes I see where people start with trying to control what another person is thinking, how other people do their business. I even had a time where I was promoting a collaboration, and this happened on more than one occasion actually. And I was promoting a collaboration, and I posted it in a community. And in the community, there was someone who was like, "This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. You're not going to be able to do this. Nobody wants this. There's no value in this. You're not. No one's going to sign up." And they kept doing it on multiple posts, because I post on multiple platforms. I schedule and I post manually, and they would go from each post that I created to say the same thing. That level of energy as a professional, or as anybody, as a human, to take time out of your day to have something negative to say about what another person is doing when you're not doing it, number one. Number two, you're not in the same realm. We're not even in the same industry. We're not doing the same thing. It's distasteful, and other people see it, and that might deter you from having really meaningful collaborations. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with what everyone else is doing, and it doesn't mean you have to co-sign things that don't make sense for you. You can accept that, and move on. But to intentionally go out of your way to be negative, it's like another layer of miserableness that people really aren't attracted to, and that could have you missing out on great meaningful relationships, because people who want meaningful relationships tend to be trying to elevate and work on growth and self-development. And when they're looking at a person who is actively going out of their way to do the opposite, you're going to miss out on some great people. So that's one tip. And then last but never least, we have cutting to the chase. This one is huge. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I feel as if it's become a little normalized to wear a filter due to social media, due to trauma, due to less courses and conversations on how to socialize. And so a lot of people will have these masks on to protect themselves. And also because they feel like without the mask, they're not going to be able to get great results. And in some areas, that might actually be the truth. But in other areas, you might be missing out on authentic connections and meaningful connections. In business, when you're talking to somebody, if there's an intention that you have, just get to the chase. Express what it is that you're here to do. Because the mask that you put on to say, "Oh, I'm here for this," but then you say surprise and you show them what you're actually there for, it's a waste of time. And for people who are genuine and value their time, that might be a turnoff and make them feel like this isn't a connection that's worth having. If you're looking for a client and you're strictly looking for sales, express that. Say that you're looking for a client, looking for sales. If you're looking for funding and you need a sponsor, express that. If you're looking for coaching because you need help with learning how to do something and you're just not sure, if you're looking for somebody in business to pick their brain so that you can get information on how to grow your business for free, say that. Everything that I just listed, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. If that's what you want to do and that's what you're looking for, express it because there's someone out there who's willing to provide it. But what we end up doing in business is we go into rooms and conversations with this mask on and we don't just say what our intentions are and what we're looking for. And then we come in, we surprise them with them later. And that decreases your chance that people are going to want that connection or even to shop because you're not being direct and honest to begin with. State what it is, get to the chase, express what you're looking for, and accept that some people are going to be able to provide it and some people are not. But the quicker you tell them what you're looking for and what you're about, the quicker they can say, I can help you, I'm your guy, or unfortunately, this is just not for me, and move you on to somebody else. Just quickly cut to the chase. We don't have to do the drama. We don't have to do the pretending. We don't have to do the small talk. We don't have to do any of that stuff. Introduce yourself. Let them introduce themselves. Ask them what they're seeking or what, why they're here. Share why you're here. And from there, you guys mutually make the decision on if it makes sense. But all the extra psychological games, going back and forth, the tit for tat, whatever it is, it's unnecessary if you just be honest about what your direct intention is with each business connection that you create. If you are strictly looking for collaborations because you're not in the space to spend right now, that's okay too. Say it, be direct, allow people to decline it or accept it, and move on. And when people come to you and they are direct with you and they are honest about what is going on around you or what they feel, respect it. Don't make people feel bad for being honest with you because what happens is people hold back honesty. That happens a lot in this world, professionally as well. They hold back their thoughts because when they're honest with you, you take that and run with it and make it something it's not. Be direct with people about what your intentions are, what you're needing, what you're wanting. Just directly say it and cut to the chase, and then allow them to accept it or don't accept it. And when people are direct with you, just say thank you and keep it moving if it doesn't make sense for you. These are ways we can have more meaningful connections. The authenticity helps you to quickly decide on if something is meaningful connection for you or not. And when you find the one that is authentic, focus on leaning into how you can support them, how they can support you, how you guys can mutually flourish together. These create conversations for deeper business connections, learning what we have in common together, what missions we're trying to achieve together, what we're willing to give to each other. I hope this helps someone who genuinely is struggling with socializing, or they're trying to, but no bite. You just haven't found any connections that really work for you or really last. So take this video. Like I said, practice discernment. Maybe it works for you. Maybe you tweak it a little bit. But the goal behind the video, the intention is to spark inspiration about how we can be aware of how we're coming across to people, but most importantly, our actions. Be aware of our actions. Pay attention to our impact, and then choose to impact on a positive scale so you can find people that align with what you're trying to do and what you're setting out to do. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I will be back with another video. Let me tell you what the next topic is, because like I said, we have quite a few tonight or today. I said tonight because I'm like, it's gonna be a long day of lives. Okay, so we are on, hold on, number 5. How you treat service workers speaks volumes. This one I talked about yesterday on the Boss Bay Business Show, and with MJ, founder of travelwithmj.net. We're about to bring that conversation back, and I'll see you guys in about 2 to 3 minutes. Bye-bye.